Eastertide, Week 6, Friday. A reading from the homilies of St. Augustine on St. John's Gospel. The two lives. The Church knows two lives which have been laid down and commended to her by God. One is through faith, the other through vision. One is passed on pilgrimage in time, the other in our eternal home. One involves toil, the other rest. One is on the way, the other in our true home. One involves work, the other brings reward. One is a life of action, the other a life of contemplation. The Apostle Peter personifies the first life, John the second. The first has no place except on earth. It lasts only to the end of the present age and comes to an end in the next world. The second life has no end in the age to come, and its perfection is delayed until the end of the present age. And so Peter is told, "Follow me," while it is said of John, "If it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? You are to follow me." You are to follow me by imitating me in enduring suffering for a time. He is to remain until I come, bringing the blessings that last forever. To state the point more plainly, action being complete is to follow me, shaped by the example of my passion. Contemplation being only begun is to remain until I come, to be perfected when I come. To follow Christ loyally even to death, this is the fullness of patience. The fullness of knowledge remains until Christ comes, when it will be fully revealed. Here the ills of this world are endured in the land of the dying. There the good things of the Lord will be seen in the land of the living. The words, "It is my will that he should remain until I come," should not be taken to mean remain behind or continue, but rather wait. For the truth John symbolizes will not be fulfilled now, but only when Christ comes. But the truth symbolized by Peter, to whom Christ said, "You are to follow me," is to be realized now, if the awaited fulfillment is to be achieved. But we should not separate these great apostles. In the truth which Peter symbolized, they were both already present. In the truth which John symbolized, they were both destined to be present. In symbol, Peter followed and John remained. But in faith, both endured the present ills of this life of woe, and both waited for the future blessings of the next life of joy. It is not only of the apostles that this is true. It is true also of the whole Church, Christ's holy bride, which needs to be rescued from the temptations of this life and kept safe in the joys of the next. Respectively, Peter and John represented these two lives. But jointly, they both passed temporarily through the first life by faith, and both will enjoy the second life eternally by vision. And so, for the sake of all the faithful who belong inseparably to the body of Christ, in order to steer them through the storms of this life, Peter, the first of the apostles, received the keys of the kingdom of heaven with power to bind and to loose sins. And likewise, for the sake of the faithful, In order to preserve the still and secret heart of the next life, John the Evangelist rested on Christ's breast. For it is not only Peter, but the whole church which binds and looses sins. And it was not only John who drank from the well of the Lord's breast, knowledge of the Word, who in the beginning was God and with God, and all else concerning Christ's divinity, sublime knowledge proclaimed by John concerning the Trinity and unity of the whole Godhead, which in His kingdom we shall see face to face, but now, until the Lord comes, we must behold in a glass darkly. It was not only John who drank. The Lord Himself has spread John's gospel throughout the world, so that according to each one's capacity, all His people may drink it.